Okay, on this episode of Outsmart the Hustle, I'm going to talk about my trip to Portugal. It was amazing just to start. I would totally go back. It was beautiful. The people were amazing, like super hospitable, and the food, glorious food. It was awesome. I feel like they were eating every 3 hours or so. It was like I couldn't feel hungry just because I was being given so much food. I was staying at a 5-star hotel. It was really fantastic. The experience, the service, the food. Oh my gosh, you guys, the food. It's one of my main motivators. It was just amazing. So definitely would go back for vacationing. It was beautiful.
I'm feeling like a brand new me. For the very first time, I'm not where I'm meant to be. Brand new.
Welcome to Outsmart the Hustle, where we turn hard work into smart work, helping you focus on the high-impact moves that drive your business forward without getting stuck in the grind. Now, I've comprised some questions from you guys just from my story. So if you missed it, it's okay. You could always ask me, through a DM if you have any questions about my trip or how to do destination weddings. But hopefully these 10 questions will just kind of encompass any questions you have about if destination weddings are for you or not. So I'm going to go through the first question, which is, what did it actually take to book a destination wedding in Portugal? And so I think that this one, so to be honest, you guys, this was the first destination wedding that I've ever done. I have done some international styled shoots, but they were not paid. I didn't get paid for them. I paid to be there, anywhere from $400 to $6,500 just to be there and get some, portfolio under my belt for destinations. And it was also helpful to do those ahead of time because then I got to know, what do I need to pack in order to be successfully shooting a destination, right? Now, this I'll get into what's in my bag in a second for international travel, but when you're shooting between you and a second shooter and that's all you got, you have to travel pretty light. And then you risk, if you do any carry-on luggage, checked bag luggage, you risk losing that along the way. So that's kind of we want to avoid that, right? Anyway, so what did it actually take? I think it took patience. It took just not knowing if this was going to be something that I was going to book, but having the grit, the determination. I prayed a lot about it too. I was like, I really want this booking. It would be so cool. I did this baby announcement for this couple, I want to say 3 years ago at this point. And they did it at the Dallas Arboretum, but they were coming in from Boston. They saw that a football player or some influencer had done their baby announcement in a similar way in a botanical garden, and they wanted to be able to replicate that essentially. So they were like, well, let's go to the Dallas Botanical Gardens and find a Dallas videographer. I came up with the hashtag Dallas Wedding Videographer or just Dallas Videographer. Who knows what she searched? But the fact was that I was using hashtags. So please, guys, don't sleep on your hashtags. It's what people who don't know where to go in an area will start searching. So if you really do want destinations, I would start hashtagging yourself as destination wedding videographer or that location wedding videographer, right? Because someone found me from Dallas videographer, Dallas wedding videographer. Anyway, so I did that baby announcement. I'm still following her on Instagram, and a year later, they have their engagement party. And I'm like, oh, awesome. Let's see if they need a videographer. So I reached back out to her with the usual congratulations. I'm excited for you guys. Just want to reach out here. If you guys need a videographer, would love to work with you again. And she's like, yeah, we're actually getting married in Porto. And I was like, shut up. That's so awesome. And we just kept chatting in DMs. And I know this is sometimes a long haul. It's a long game because with big weddings, I feel like there's a lot of planning involved. And for them, we were probably having this conversation in 2023. And their wedding is in 2025, which just happened. So if you're in it for the long haul and you can have conversations with these people for a little bit, then yes, I would be like, destination weddings, totally you can do them. But recently I had someone who I referred, And they're like, oh, the bride hasn't talked to me in like 4 days. So I think they've moved on and they're not going to book with us. And I'm like, oh my gosh, have patience. These luxury brides really do work on their own clock. So if you guys want to work with this type of clientele, just know they're not always going to book you immediately. Like if you got to be in it just as a regular person in it for the long haul. I know that there's some risk in the waiting, but it's like how consistent can you be with this person while there's waiting? That's kind of my belief about it. And I get booked with really awesome people. So I don't think that it's like, gospel what I'm saying. But I do think that there are people who book immediately because they sense that urgency. But I also feel like that people who have money don't have urgency because they're like, oh, I'll just find someone else, which they totally can. So yeah, I just kind of keep an eye on the date. And if someone else books me for that date, cool. But I don't have a false sense of urgency for people of like, hey, we're looking at this, crunch time, blah, blah. Because they're going to be like, okay, cool, go on ahead and book it because I'm not ready right now. And yeah, and then you'd like miss out on a booking because of like some false lies or hopes that you'd be trying to like get this booking quicker when all it could take was just patience. So that's kind of how I view it. Take it or leave it. I'm going to go on to the next question. So how did you price this kind of wedding and did you charge travel separately or bundle it? Okay, I priced this wedding as normal on my website. You can see all of my package pricing. It's on there. I don't hide anything. So I have a team wedding associate package under my brand. And then I have the middle package where I start to go out and film. And then I have a higher package above that. So the middle package is what she booked, which starts at $89.97, so basically $9,000. And she paid for travel separately and my hotel separately. So I booked the plane tickets and she reimbursed me for those. And then the hotel room she booked, just put it under our name. So that was all on her card. And then when there was a international, city tax, I just Venmo'd her and she sent me that back, right? So she paid for my Ubers when I was there, my meals while I was working. She even paid for my lunch the day after the wedding because it was a long wedding. They went till 4 a.m. I did not stay there till 4 a.m., but I was editing the next day for the 24-hour teaser, right? So I was like, I am basically on the clock for you. Please pay for my lunch. And she did. So my travel was billed separately just for this bride. But I imagine when you get into like the $15,000, $20,000 range, you would want to be bundling in all your travel inclusively so that your couples or your planner that you're working through doesn't have to do all that for you. So in this case, though, travel was charged separately. I don't think that there is a one-size-fits-all for whether or not you should, but it just kind of depends on your client and what they're comfortable with, which you can just have a conversation and figure that out. So next question. Did you pitch yourself for this wedding or did they find you? Oh, I didn't pitch. Maybe I did, but they found me originally for like the baby shower, baby reveal, right? And then I saw them put the engagement on. And so I was just being like, hey, I see you. This is awesome. Are you guys going to have a wedding? Do you need a videographer for it? And just had a conversation. So she already loved my work, which was cool. And then I got to go to Portugal with her 2 years later. So we had several conversations in between then and there just to make sure we were good, like traveling and logistically wise. Next question is, what gear did you bring and how did you prep for international travel with it? So I feel like the game changers are your tripods and your light stands. You have to find really light carbon fiber. So I went with Peak Design tripods. They are very light, but they get the job done. And if you need to weigh them down, they have like a little hook and clasp that you can put either your backpack on, or I brought some water bags with me just in case. If we ever needed to bring the tripod outside and it was windy or something, then I could put a water bag on it. I like to travel with those, and I can put links in the show notes so that you guys can buy these tripods or these water bags or anything that I really mention on this podcast. I'll make sure to link it in the show notes. So I had Peak Design tripods. I brought 2 of them with me. One of them was in my carry-on bag. The other one was in my second shooter's carry-on bag. And then I had I want to say it's Impact or Newer. I can't remember what brand it is, but I have a very light light stand. It's on the shorter side. It's not like ideal height of like 9 feet tall, but it's like close to 7 feet, and it gets the job done, you know? So for like the speeches that were light up, great. For the first dances, great. I barely used them all night, honestly. I used it more so outside for their cake cutting, which was done in the dark. And then they had the fireworks behind them, which lit it up, and that was really cool. So I brought my Stella Pro lights with me. They have internal batteries, which makes them ideal for international travel. They don't get flagged because they're not like these big batteries that are lithium that separate from them, like on the Aperture 60Xs. It's like everything is internal, which is so perfect. And you can bring the chargers if you need them. I only brought one because I didn't feel like I needed to charge them when I was at the wedding. I just charged them afterwards. That's it for lighting. And then for my camera gear, I brought a FX3 and my 2 A7S3s. I had 2 camera bodies in my bag and 2 camera bodies in my second shooter's bag, and she brought a A7 IV. We had 4 camera bodies. I brought my drone as well. I did make sure it was like legal to fly my drone in Portugal, which it is, before I flew it. So guys, please get your drone licenses and just be as, tip top as you can with drone laws before you go fly them in foreign countries, please. And then, let me see if I got anything else. I brought my Rode Go 2s for audio and my Tascam DR10L. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Guys, these numbers and letters get ambiguous over time, but I'm pretty sure that's what I brought. So I kept it really light, really nice and compact. With my lenses, I had 24-70 and a 7200, and I had my second shooter pack the exact same thing because I wanted us to be versatile throughout the day, and then I wanted those 72-200s on for the speeches and for the ceremony on the side angles. So it was pretty good. I loved our setup. I love what we were able to do. We brought tiny little lights for our cameras during the reception, like the dancing and stuff. We didn't really use them that much. There was a lot of lighting inside of the reception from the DJ, which was cool. But yeah, I think it was pretty good. That's all that we packed. And I had a bunch of batteries. You can literally bring as many batteries as you need as long as it's on your backpack or it's in your carry-on, I did not bring any checked bags. All my clothes fit in there with my gear as well. Like my monopod was also in there. I disassembled it as much as it could be disassembled. My gimbal was in my backpack. And yeah, I just kind of went light. And it's really amazing that I can shoot a wedding with just a backpack and a carry-on bag. That's all that I had to bring. Pretty awesome if you ask me. And so I try to keep everything on me and on my second shooter when we're traveling. Our backpacks are really stinking heavy, but it gets the job done. All right, next question. What were the biggest logistical surprises you faced once you got there? Wedding videographers and photographers. The Booked by Strategy Workshop is a 3.5-day in-person event this December 2nd through the 5th, built to help you attract aligned couples to your brand and book without discounting your worth. Hear from voices like Jai Long, Layli Amadi, Justin Porter, Jack Callagher, and me, Hannah McGinty. Only 40 tickets are being sold and spots are filling up fast. Click the link in the show notes or check out bookedbystrategy.com to snag your seat before it's gone. So luckily, none of our bags got lost. We did have to check in our carry-ons, so any batteries I had in there, I had to stuff as well as I could into my backpack, just because there wasn't enough overhead space. So that sucked that I had to carry my bag from Newark, New Jersey to Portugal until I could get my carry-on back because my back hurt after that. Logistically, no, everything was pretty great. I mean, some time zone fatigue because they were 6 hours ahead. And so I definitely felt tired, but I was pushing through it so I could just sleep that whole night. And then we had an extra day just to do whatever we wanted. So we explored Braga. It was actually on a Roman history something day. So people were dressed like Jesus and I was really confused. And then I realized, they're not dressed like Jesus. They're dressed like Caesar or something because they've got the white robes and the red sash over them. But then some of them were wearing flower crowns and the the leafy crowns. And I was like, oh, this is definitely some Roman stuff. And there were people like dancing in the street, people playing like bagpipes and stuff. Like there was a blacksmith dressed in old attire. I was like, did I just get transported into the past? Because what the heck is happening? But it was really cool. I think like time zone stuff wasn't too bad because it's only 6 hours. The customs were very polite. Everyone was very hospitable. Vendor coordination was really good once I appeared at the venue. People weren't really like messaging me though. The photographer, I could tell, was really busy. They are very famous in their area, really well known. And so I'm not going to lie, if I was like slightly intimidated to reach out to him because I was like, you know what you're doing clearly. And you've been at this venue for a lot. So I just didn't want to look like this one girl from America that just flies in to go, take this job from other local videographers. But I was just like, hey, I'm here. And they were so nice to me, guys. Like, I didn't really know what to expect being not the only vendor, actually. The DJ also is from Dallas, which was really incredible. Like they moved to Dallas a year ago. So they're really new to Dallas, but it was like, what? I'm doing a destination wedding and a local vendor is working this with me. This is insane. Yeah, when it came to the photographers, they were actually translating for me. They were speaking English to me. And then like they had 3 of them, by the way. There were 3 photographers and then an editor. So there was 4 total in their team. And the second shooter would actually come and get me when they impromptu decided to do something somewhere around the venue. So I would get the shot too. Like their level of teamwork was phenomenal. So shout out to Zhao and his team because y'all are absolutely amazing. I will also link them in the show notes if you want to check out their work because it's super freaking artistic. There's a reason why they're so well known. Okay, so how did you plan for storytelling in a totally new environment? I love this question. Okay, I arrived pretty early. I arrived at like 9:30 a.m., maybe no later than 10 a.m. Because one, the ladies were doing this really cool brunch I wanted to get some reality TV style action of. I also wanted to take a little tour of the whole venue just so I could get used to, okay, what are the spaces that we're working with? It's humongous plot of land and there's peacocks and stuff. Like I really just wanted to explore it and see, okay, what are some nice places we could take them to? So that was, you know what, going back to the last questions actually with the logistical surprises, our makeup artist took 2 hours longer than expected. And, that's not always on her. I think it's just that she needed 2 people. She didn't have 2 people. And with a bridal party of like 10 people, you definitely need more than 1 person or you're going to start running behind on stuff. So I feel like that would have been on her to educate the bride of like, hey, if you want to do photos at such and so time, you're not going to be ready by then because your makeup won't be done by then. Which was a little tragic because we had 2 whole hours of nothing with the bride. Just her wedding party and like just getting details everywhere. Too much time for details. That's not always the best, but when in Portugal, film everything. So I kind of just took it as a lead to just go and shoot some pretty stuff. I asked them to go around and compliment the bride and tell them what they like about the bride. And I thought that was just super fun. But yeah, I had to create that scene. They weren't just going to sit there and compliment Adelia like the whole time, right? So I'd be like, okay, what do I want her to be able to remember from this other than them just eating some really amazing food in a really beautiful place? Like what will be the emotional attachments that they have from this get together? And that's what I try to help them create. So next question is, did you work with a local planner or team and how'd that affect your day, the flow of the day? Okay, the next question is, did you work with a local planner or team and how did that affect the flow of the day? Yeah, so I had a planner that was with the venue. I don't know if they're a venue coordinator per se because they were really on top of everything. They were so good. But there is really no like planner to tag, so I have to think that it was the venue coordinator because they handled everything. But I'm sure that they are more of a planner than what we know venue coordinators to be here in the States because she was so on top of it. She let me know when things were happening. She even asked me, hey, with your cameras and your angles, what's the best place to set up the fireworks for when they do the champagne tower? I was like, wow, the fact that she's asking me this means that she really cares about like us, what we get, and doing this for the couple. Like, wow. I was just really taken aback by the in-house commitment that they had. So I was enamored all day long. And the flow of the day was absolutely perfect because everyone was on the same page. I think that was just phenomenal considering that I'm a foreigner coming into their country and they're still hospitable to me. They're speaking as best of English as they can to accommodate for me. I don't know a lick of Portuguese except for saying thank you, obrigada. That's all I got. Like, so I really appreciated them. They were awesome. How did this wedding compare creatively and emotionally to local weddings that you filmed? So creatively, I thought it was much easier to do this wedding because everything looks so dang beautiful. From the couple to the venue to the decor, it was just fantastic. Like even their guests are beautiful people. So like it really wasn't that hard. There was just beautiful landscapes. It was a huge, huge venue. So you had a lot of different array of different nooks and crannies and corners to stick your subjects in and like create a beautiful pose, right? Really beautiful creatively. Emotionally, I felt like this was pretty on par with all of my other weddings. Like they said their vows, cried during their vows, cried during the ceremony. You know, it had like the same flow as any normal wedding would. It was just in a very beautiful space. My next question here says, would you do it again and would you definitely do it differently next time? I don't really know what they mean by definitely, but I could say this. Yes, I would do it again. I told the couple, like, you guys are a 10 out of 5 couple. Absolutely amazing. If you get married again, let me know. JK. But that was their third wedding. They got a justice of the peace. They had a local wedding with their grandparents, and then they literally came into this destination wedding. So they technically did get married 3 times. So if they do it a 4th time, hey, I'm here for it. But what would I definitely next time is I would actually ask them to hire a 3rd shooter with me. Because I realized I was really ambitious and I did way too much for one person. There was a point during the cake cutting that I will never let down for the rest of my life where I got every single angle. I set up lights and everything. My 2nd shooter was on the crowd reaction. I even got the drone up and I was ready. I was like, I don't know when they're coming out that door, but here I'm ready. But I had to hit record on 3 different cameras and then on my drone. So I did all of that. They came out a little earlier than expected. There was a few other things happening all at the same time. I hit record on all my cameras except my drone, but I didn't realize it. And the fireworks goes off and everything. And like I'm looking at my screen like, this is fantastic. This looks amazing. Even the guests looking over my shoulder are like, dude, that looks so sick. And I'm like, yeah, it's so cool. And then it ends. And I move my thumb and I see it's not recording. I have this little freak out moment where I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I check the file. If the file is not there, it was from earlier in the day. And I was like, did I really just forget to hit record on this amazing scene? And I had to remind myself, like, it's okay. I'm doing drone because out of the nicest of my heart, this is a destination. Who wouldn't want drone? It wasn't paid for. So I'm like just doing it because I'm extra. And I asked the coordinator, I was like, is there any way possible we can do that again? I know it's probably a no, but is there any other way? And she goes, no, sweetie, what's wrong? And she just hugged me and I started to cry a little bit. I'm like, the more that you console me, I might actually weep. So I need you to go away. It was just such a bummer. But the reason why I didn't get it is because I can't do everything. I hate to admit that too, because I'm such a perfectionist. But if I had a 3rd person there strictly as a drone operator, you know, and an assistant throughout the day, like, dude, I would have gotten it. We would have gotten that amazing shot with the reflection in the water of the fireworks coming down on the fountain. And, oh, man, it's just like forever a memory just in my mind. And that's it. Like Edith, my 2nd shooter, she did get to see it a little bit on my screen from my drone operation. She's like, dang, that looks so cool. And I'm like, yeah. So for a brief moment, it felt like victory. I was like recording on everything. Everything was perfect. The crowd was going wild. Drone. Dang drone. So, yeah, I think like I would definitely have a 3rd person with me on a destination wedding in the future. I can't do it all by myself. And I admit that. And that's okay. So last question. How has this Portugal wedding helped your brand since coming back? Or hurt? I don't want to assume it helped. Okay. Well, it hasn't hurt me for sure. It has only helped. I've actually gotten 3 inquiries from like posting about this wedding, which is pretty cool. One bride from New York that lives there, another bride that's doing a vow renewal in Cape Verdean, which I'm pretty sure she's from the wedding, I guess, because they're from there. And then I had another bride reaching out for her wedding in Georgia. So I think that was pretty cool. It's a pretty good win. Like I literally just posted it, and the next day I'm getting people filling out my contact form. So I think it helps, in terms of like social proof, lead quality, dream clients and what they're attracted to. It's definitely helped me. And I think the speed in which I posted that, like posting it next day, if you can even post something day of, because you have a third or fourth person there to help you make same day edits to post, that just blows people's minds because they're like, wait, I'm literally at this wedding right now and I'm already seeing it on social media. This is crazy. So same effect when you post it the next day, no rush. So yeah, I think people just are still living off the hype of the wedding, and the faster you can post that, the more it gets shared, So I did that with the teaser. I put it out a week after the wedding. Same thing. People are sharing it. So I think that it's really cool. I would definitely do it again if I could. The only thing I would change is I have to have a requirement of 3 people coming with me. So if this helped you in determining your future readiness for destination bookings, please like this podcast, share it with a friend considering destination weddings, ask for your thoughts, comment, any other questions you got. I'd love to hear what you guys think about destinations and if you feel like that's for your brand or not. I'm definitely a homebody. I don't think I would do this very often, like max 2, maybe 3 times a year. I just love my dogs and my husband, and I want to stay home wrapped in a cozy blanket watching some shows, like some Sherlock Holmes or something. So I don't really want to always go out, but for the right couple and for the right wedding, you bet I will drop everything. It's just so fun to go see the world and get to do that for work. So you bet 100% I'll be doing destination weddings again. This won't be the last.
I'ma tell everybody I'm feeling like a brand new me.
Outsmart the Hustle is produced by Booked by Strategy, a film business course, hosted by Hannah McGinty and edited by Manuel Mesa. Follow us at Booked by Strategy literally anywhere for more creative business tips and freebies, and check out the course and live workshop that happens every year at www.bookedbystrategy.com.